Hi guys, today we're making Rice Krispie treats. So the first thing you're gonna need is your saucepan. You want to have a saucepan because we're gonna be making a liquid, so we're gonna go with something that looks like we can fit some liquid in it like a saucepan. We're also gonna need our induction burner. So how do we work our induction burner with our saucepan? So the first thing is we have an on-off and we have our temperatures. The big thing is our induction burner is not going to turn on unless I have a pan on it. So if you listen, when I take this off, I'm gonna start to hear a beep. And that is because I don't have a pan on. So I need to put my pan on. I'm gonna put it down at a low. You do not want to leave your pan going for 5 minutes and walk away and go measure your ingredients. You do not turn your pan on until you have your butter, which I have my butter. I have measured 4 tablespoons, which if I look on the side, I can see my numbers going down to let me know. Your teachers probably will have this cut for you since this is one of our earliers. So I'm gonna take off my wrapper and I'm gonna let that go. You see how there's no smoke billowing up, and you see how it's going nice and I don't hear any sounds happening. It doesn't sound like sizzling. It's because I didn't leave my skillet going. So I'm gonna use my rubber spatula because it can scrape my sides, and I'm going to start to melt my butter. While my butter is starting to go, you guys should have someone in your group who has already measured your marshmallows, but I'm going to do 2.5 cups of marshmallows. So when I go, I'm going to overfill, and these are kind of awkward, right? They don't perfectly fit. So I'm going to be okay if it's a little bit over the top. I'm gonna put 1 in there. I don't have to wait for the butter to be fully melted. It's actually better to have it melt with. There's my 2, and now I'm gonna do a half. And I'm gonna put it. You guys should have mini marshmallows to go in. So I overdid it just a little bit because mini marshmallows feel a little bit easier than big marshmallows. So now I'm going to take my rubber spatula and I'm gonna try and coat those marshmallows in my butter mixture. When my butter mixture is all melted down, I will show you how it looks. But while I'm waiting for my butter mixture to melt, which my marshmallows are gonna start to crumble, they're gonna start to look sticky and liquidy, and that's what we want. So the number one thing is you don't wanna see any chunks of marshmallows. I'm gonna give this a minute to sit. I'm gonna scrape my rubber spatula, put it right on the side. This is starting to go. While that is going, I'm gonna prepare my muffin tin. So you're gonna have a muffin tin. This should make 6 to 8 muffin tins filled with your Rice Krispies. Now, I'm gonna use my cooking spray to spray my muffin tins. The only thing is, I don't wanna do it over the floor so that the spray gets everywhere. I wanna either do this over a table or over the garbage can. And when I spray, I'm not going to douse each one. I'm literally gonna do a little spritz in each one. So if I show you, there's no butter running, there's no tons and tons of oil, that's all you need. I'm gonna set this off to the side while I come back to my butter mixture. At this point, I'm starting to get nice and melted. I'm gonna use my rubber spatula to kind of squish some of my marshmallows and get it mixing up. Now, I also have to think about my Rice Krispies. So you could do this with any kind of cereal if you wanted to. We're choosing to do Rice Krispies. Okay. All right, so as we look at my mixture, I do not have any big chunks of marshmallow. I'm not boiling. I have a nice, creamy, buttery, marshmallowy mixture. So now I'm gonna take this off the heat, turn off, and I'm gonna move this onto the side. The only thing I wanna warn is if you leave this sitting for like 5 minutes, it's going to start to thicken up and it's gonna be harder to mix in with your Rice Krispie treats. So I'm going to do less work. I'm going to measure my Rice Krispies and I'm gonna put them in this bowl so I'm doing less dishes, right? That's our whole goal. So I'm gonna do 3.5 cups. So I'm going to scoop in. I am going to overfill. I'm going to use my straight edge spatula to level off. I'm gonna pour in my 1. I'm gonna use 3.5 cups of my Rice Krispies. There's 2. I'm gonna keep going. It will help to overfill it. Again, I overfilled, so I'm going to level off. There's 3. And then my last one is a little half. I overfill. 3.5. I'm gonna set all of this off to the side. Your partner can go start to wash. Now, I'm going to go up and over. Rice Krispies are super delicate, so if you're smashing these, you're not going to get good pieces of Rice Krispie. You're gonna have a bunch of crumbles. So I'm coming up and over. Then I'm starting up and over. I don't really wanna mix sideways because again, I'm gonna break my Rice Krispies. I'm trying to make sure that I get all of my marshmallow mixture coated over top my Rice Krispies. So I don't want any big chunks of marshmallow at the bottom, and it's going to get stickier and stickier. It's going to get on your rubber spatula. That is okay. All right, so I'm fully coated, and I have, you can see as I let it fall, it wants to stick to each other, but it's still melty and hot, so it will break apart. So I'm going to take my muffin tin. I'm going to use my rubber spatula, and I'm just going to give like a little dollop into my muffin tin. I'm gonna do a little bit in each one. And then after I go, I'm gonna use my rubber spatula. Because it's silicone, it shouldn't stick too much. If it does, you can either put on a pair of gloves, or you can put a little bit of nonstick spray on your rubber spatula. But because again, it's silicone, it should stick a little bit more. And I'm going to press these into my muffin tin. After I press them into my muffin tin, they are still warm. So if I try to take them out immediately, they're just going to crumble. So you guys can see I packed them into my muffin tins. I'm going to let this sit for the rest of class while I wash my dishes and make sure everything's done. My kitchen job is done, everything's put away, and your teacher has checked you off. After that, we'll have little baggies for you. You can pop them out and take them home.